right now as you're watching this video. You've probably seen those clips of people flexing insane wealth on YouTube. Billion-dollar fortunes, Rolex watches, private jets, supercars filling the garage, underground mansions. That's modern wealth. But if we go back 30,000 years, all that stuff people are showing off on YouTube today would just be trash, worthless junk. So what did the truly rich people in prehistory actually own? Today I'm taking you through the truth that textbooks and documentaries never tell us. I guarantee when you find out, your mind will be blown. Let's dive in. To answer that, we don't have to guess. Modern science gives us tools to actually see wealth from tens of thousands of years ago. Before we get into the specific examples, ask yourself this. How can scientists tell who was rich and who was poor, just from bones that are tens of thousands of years old? The answer lies in one incredibly powerful tool. Let's break it down. Modern archaeologists use something called stable isotope analysis. They measure the levels of carbon-13 and nitrogen-15 in the collagen from bones. If the nitrogen-15 levels are high, that person ate a lot of meat, especially meat from other predators. That's the sign of someone at the top of the food chain. If the levels are low, they mostly ate plants, nuts, and roots. They were the ones who had to hunt and gather every single day just to eat. Put simply, going vegan today is a luxury choice for rich people. But in the Ice Age, eating plants usually meant you were poor. You didn't have access to meat. That's value bomb number one, just by looking at bones. Science can map out the rich and poor of an entire society from 30,000 years ago. But just having enough to eat wasn't enough to be truly wealthy back then. The elite needed ways to show status. Think about their bodies. Today we pay for gym memberships to get six-packs and lose fat. Back then it was the complete opposite. A skinny, bony body meant you were working your ass off every day just to survive. A big belly full of fat. That was proof of power. Why? Because calories were currency. If you had constant access to meat and stored food, you didn't have to chase animals every day. Other people hunted for you. A big belly in the Stone Age was basically a Rolls Royce for your body. It screamed to the whole tribe, I don't have to do shit. I have power, and I have food. Having enough food still wasn't enough. The super rich always needed luxury items to create distance. And here it is, the ultimate luxury item of the Ice Age: obsidian, volcanic glass. Imagine a blade so sharp, it can cut cells before your nerves even register the pain, sharper than modern surgical steel. But the real value wasn't just how sharp it was how rare it was and how far it traveled. If you lived in Europe back then, getting quality obsidian meant it had to come from thousands of kilometers away from volcanoes in what is now Turkey. That required complex, dangerous, expensive supply chains. Anyone walking around with a pristine, unbroken obsidian blade was flexing hard. It told everyone around them they had connections and resources to get this forbidden luxury item. It was the equivalent of rocking a Richard Mille or carrying a Birkin bag today. Value bomb number two. Obsidian wasn't just a tool, it was an international status symbol of the Stone Age. Let's pause here for a second. Did you ever think that even 30,000 years ago, humans already had long-distance trade networks? Drop your thoughts in the comments. But right now we're getting to the most mind-blowing evidence in this entire video. Back in the 1950s to 1970s, Russian archaeologists excavated the Sungir site near what is now Moscow. They found the graves of two kids around 10 and 13 years old, buried close together head to head. These two kids weren't even old enough to hunt big game on their own, yet they were buried with an insane amount of wealth. Over 10,000 beads made from Mammoth ivory. Each bead had to be cut, drilled, and polished using crude stone tools. Each one could take anywhere from 20 to 60 minutes of skilled labor. Multiply that by 10,000 beads and you're looking at thousands of hours of work. Months of non-stop labor from a team of master craftsmen. That's not all. They also had nearly 2-meter-long spears carved from entire mammoth tusks, straightened using heat treatment that still baffles scientists today. Around their necks and waists were belts made from Arctic fox teeth. Getting those teeth meant hunting and skinning dozens of foxes. Value bomb number 3. This wasn't a normal burial. This was next-level wealth flexing. A family threw thousands of hours of labor and massive resources into the graves of 2 children. Why? To send a clear message to rival tribes. We're so rich we can burn this much wealth and it means nothing to us. Don't even think about messing with us. This is the clearest proof that social class and inherited wealth existed long before governments or writing. These two kids were born at the finish line. They were the ultimate trust fund babies of the Ice Age. Now I want to hear what you think. What do you make of a family burying over 10,000 ivory beads with two kids? Was it pure flexing, or did they genuinely believe in the afterlife? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Type flex if you think it was showing off, or spiritual if you think it was belief. I'll read and reply to some of the best ones in a future video. Most people assume the rich back then had to be the strongest warriors, the biggest and toughest in the tribe. But the archaeological evidence tells a completely different story. Around 12,000 years ago at Hilazon-Takhtit cave in Israel, archaeologists found the grave of a woman around 45 years old. She wasn't a warrior. Her pelvis was severely deformed. She probably had trouble walking, maybe even moving on her own, in a world where the weak were often left behind. She received one of the most elaborate burials ever found from that time. She was buried with over 50 roasted turtle shells, the pelvis of a leopard, eagle wings, the tail of an aurochs, and the foot of a wild boar, all rare or dangerous animals. Value bomb number 4. She was a shaman, a spiritual leader. In the wild world, nothing was more terrifying than things humans couldn't understand. Thunder, disease, long winters, dangerous animals. This woman didn't sell meat, she didn't sell tools. She sold the most expensive thing of all time: belief and fear. When hunters were terrified before going out into the forest, the shaman would sit in the cave, throw turtle shells into the fire, perform rituals and say, "The spirits have spoken. You're safe today. Go." In return, the tribe gave her the best cuts of meat and the best sleeping spots. She didn't have to bleed on the battlefield. She controlled information, manipulated psychology, and exploited the labor of stronger people. This is proof that brains and the ability to control belief could be way more powerful than muscle. Imagine living back then. Would you rather be the one running through the forest with a spear every day, or the one sitting in the cave getting served because people feared what you knew? Drop your answer in the comments. If you had the choice back then, would you be a warrior or a shaman, and why? Even with all that, wealth and inequality in prehistory still had limits. Meat rotted. Ivory was valuable but heavy. You couldn't carry hundreds of pieces on your back. There were no freezers, no banks, no way to accumulate unlimited wealth. The gap between rich and poor was brutal, but it was still more breathable than what came later. Everything changed around 10,000 years ago. A new technology appeared, something many people call humanity's greatest step forward. But in reality, it stole freedom from most people. That technology was called agriculture. Instead of humans domesticating wheat and animals domesticated humans. When people started farming and raising livestock, they created food surpluses. Those surpluses allowed populations to explode, but they also created assets that could be stored and owned: land seeds, herds of animals. Whoever controlled a surplus became the boss. Whoever didn't control it had to work for others, pay taxes, and in many cases become slaves. This is when the first real tyrants appeared. People who didn't need to hunt, but still had hundreds of people serving them. Value bomb number 5. Agriculture wasn't just a way to get food. It was the biggest trap in human history. It turned free hunter-gatherers into permanent labor machines. From this point on, inequality was no longer limited by what one person could carry. It became systematic, protected by laws and organized violence. So we've gone from the Ice Age all the way to the doorstep of agricultural civilization. You've seen it. Even without money or writing, humans already had rich and poor, already had wealth flexing, already had people selling belief and people getting exploited. But the story isn't over. In the next video, I'm going to explain exactly how agriculture, something we're taught was an amazing step forward, became the tool that created slaves, taxes, and the first brutal empires on Earth. How did wheat domesticate humans? That's the story you don't want to miss. If this video shocked you or changed how you see history, hit like right now to support the channel. Drop your answers to the questions in the comments and tag 3 friends who need to know this truth. Finally, subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next video is going to be even more mind-blowing. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I'm your channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.